What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about what Mafia 4 needs to do if it happens. So, we've talked about Mafia 4 about a week ago. I said, everything we know about it. I think it's still definitely going to happen. I feel like, honestly, the odds continue to go up and up for it, and it could be too early to talk about stuff like this, and it's definitely something we could talk about again if this game ever actually, comes out into the light. But there are some things that I think this game needs to be able to do one, take further steps in the Mafia franchise, and number two, fix the mistakes, the ever-lingering mistakes that have been, I think, kind of plaguing this franchise at this point, I would say for around 18 years, right? So, to me, there are three main aspects of it that I want to break down each part. And I want to start with probably the thing that I think plagues the game maybe the most, and that is the gameplay. The gameplay needs a severe overhaul. Now, I get it. Mafia 3 obviously was improved from Mafia 2, which was improved from Mafia 1. Mafia 1 is more in the Mafia 3 realm. It's why, even in my review of Mafia 1 or Mafia Definitive Edition, I talked about, the gameplay. The gameplay is tough. The gameplay is something that I do like parts of it. I like the fact that they put certain details in it where, like Tommy, like the gun kind of sways because he's not the greatest, shot in the world. I like those things. They need to just continue to up it. I get the whole guns need to be pretty realistic to the time period. The cars need to be realistic. I'm not saying you make the cars like the greatest drivable things ever created, but you definitely need to fix a lot of the smaller details. I talked about it with, when you're running around, sometimes he runs pretty darn weird when he's opening things, or like, the cover system was actually kind of attacked quite a bit in terms of when, different critics did the reviews of it. I completely agree. I think the whole trying to go around cover is awful. There's a lot of weaknesses when it comes to the gameplay of Mafia. Now, again, this was a remake of a 2002 game. Mafia 3 does it a bit better, but you have to just keep going. Okay, you absolutely have to keep going. The things like diversity, having different areas and doing different things in missions, I mean, those are all already really, really fine. They just need to continue to up how the game actually operates in terms. I would say the gunplay, the car stuff is probably fine, but gunplay and just generally moving around needs to be a lot better. Honestly, it's not the hardest thing in the world. The second thing is the story. Now, Mafia 3 obviously did some different things with the story. It's not a copy and paste of Mafia 1 and 2, but I didn't know what Mafia 1 and 2 were at the time I played Mafia 3, and I didn't know what it was even a month ago for Mafia 1 and a couple months ago for Mafia 2. Like I've said, Mafia 1 and Mafia 2 stories are very good. The characters are very good, but it's honestly almost the exact same story. So when it comes to a Mafia 4, you obviously keep, these are three main aspects. Like I said, you do keep a lot of what's worked. So again, the cars feeling like the time period, you keep that stuff, okay? Certain aspects of the gunplay, you keep that stuff. In terms of the story, I mean, they do have an ability to tell a really fantastic story. They've done it multiple times. That's the greatest strength of Mafia, right? That's literally, I would say if you ask anybody what's the greatest strength, it would probably be the story and characters, okay? So again, they get a little bit repetitive in like a weird way? Yeah, but you obviously know you can tell great stories, and you know that you're capable of making really great characters that, I'd say for the most part, they generally have their motivations for why they do certain things, right? There's reasoning there. There's moral dilemmas. They actually have like depth to them, which is definitely important. They're not literally just like a very one-dimensional kind of character. They're very good at doing that. It's just that, again, for Mafia 4, it is tough because you're telling the life of, like the Mafia. You're telling the life of like a mobster. Some things are definitely going to be, I would say, repeated, right? I would get why. And these stories are kind of interconnected in pretty fascinating ways, too. So if there is connections between the past games, yes, maybe things will, history repeats itself, stuff like that. But there does need to be, I'd say, some new strides made in the storytelling department. This one's the most off the board, okay? This one's most off the board, and this is the thing that I think would maybe split the Mafia community. Let me start by saying this. I know that Mafia is an open world game, but it's not really an open world game, right? There is an open world. Things are happening. It's a city that really is representative of the time period that you're in, okay? But there's no side missions. There's collectibles, but there's not that many. It's a big open world, but you really aren't expected to just go walking down the streets. In fact, there's really, especially in like Mafia 1, there's next to no, you're always participating in a mission. Like I think even Mafia 2, right? There's not like free roam time where you just go around the world and do stuff. You're always participating in missions. The world is kind of just the backdrop. All right, that's fine. There was a comment made. I don't remember who said it, and I don't remember the comment specifically, so I know that's not giving you guys much, but there was somebody who said that they need to be more like GTA, and they gave a couple examples, and I said I generally don't agree with the talk of them needing to be GTA, because GTA is a very different game than Mafia, but they made some very, very good points, and I think they were right in a lot of regards. I'm not saying this game needs to be Saints Row. I'm not saying this game needs to be GTA, but this open world, there are ways in the Mafia world of making it still very interesting. Again, am I saying to do side missions? That would be something. I don't think it's 1,000% necessary. If they feel like that would take too much away from the main story, then I would say no. But what I would say is this. One of my now I don't remember Mafia 3 all that well because I played the game 5 years ago or whenever the heck that game came out. I am going to go back and play Mafia 3 and maybe that'll change my mind. But playing Mafia 1, which many would maybe say is the best one, playing this game, one of the weaknesses that I didn't even say in the review, because it is kind of small, but it actually makes a world of difference when I'm talking about this. One of the things I noticed is when you're playing the game, okay, your family never really seems like they're on top. Now, that is done for a reason, right? You're kind of in like the shadow of another one, and then when you kind of get there, you know what I mean? Like you do kind of grow, but you're always in the same warehouse. You're always in the same area. There's no indication of you getting more powerful. In fact, I would say Mafia 2 did that better, where you do really feel like you're rising up the ranks, where your family is because of maybe just how amazing of a character you are in terms that you can do literally anything. Like your family's getting more powerful. That's what I want from a Mafia 4. And by the way, the whole Las Vegas rumor thing where you'll be able to see, and that was the rumor, Las Vegas, the 70s to the 80s, where you will see not just the city change, not just the car changes, because that's something that they've done. I mean, the car changes, they've done in all of them. The city changes would be really cool, but the rumor was that you'd be able to see your family that's getting more powerful. You'd be able to see that represented in the city. That's what I want. So when I talk about an open world, a real open world, to me, out of all of these things, the story, if it's too much of a repeat of 1 or 2, I mean, at least it's still a pretty darn solid story. The gunplay and gameplay is infuriating at times, but this one I would say is probably my most important thing that I really think when you're looking at like the level of Mafia can take it to just a brand new area that none of the other games could ever imagine. I truly do believe that. And again, side missions, is that something? Yeah, but more or less, like maybe you're just going on maybe when you're driving, you just see like part of your family, part of your group. Maybe you see them pulling a heist like on the side of the road, and you're like, oh, because if you think about it, in these worlds, like there's a lot of people in the group. They have a lot of like foot soldiers, basically, right? And they do a lot of things to get money because there's money always coming in. And then yes, there's like the big heists, the big missions. Now for Mafia 1, you were always doing the big mission. So again, like to say like I understand what they've done, I do. In these games, and I get it because you're the most important character most of the time for these games. You're the one who does the big time jobs. That's how the game can get set pieces in there, gets you to all these different locations. But there's always other things going on in the city anyway, and they never show that. They just say, or you just assume that that's happening, right? When a family is like paying off police officers or paying off politicians, you know that's happening. You know they're getting that money from somewhere. You know that there's maybe small deals on the side of the road that's happening every single day, but you've never seen it before. So, and I'm talking about this for a pretty darn long time, but it's because I am so passionate about it, and I think it's a really good idea. Those are the things I want to see. As you grow, I would like to see some of your family in this game. They don't have to have names, they don't have to be detailed, you don't have to do side quests with them, but at least, the very least, have me see why we're so powerful. Have me see how we are so powerful. Let me see different things going on in the city that show it. That's what I want. That, to me, is the biggest way. And I think, honestly, that is the best middle ground we can get from, like, I don't expect to play tennis, okay? I don't expect to go bowling. I don't expect to watch a movie. I don't expect to do that, okay? I get it. I get there are people that say, hey, Mafia literally only needs to do what Mafia's done, and there's people that said it needs to be completely like GTA. I get that there's those camps. I think there is a middle ground, like that guy said in the comments, and like what I'm saying, there's a middle ground. You don't need to go full GTA, Saints Row, any other game you can think of. You don't need to go full those games because then you do lose the core of what Mafia is. But I feel like this goes a long way to making the game even better. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? What are some things that a Mafia 4 game would absolutely need to do for you? What are some things you would change? What are some things that you would keep? All that stuff, let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And if you guys have not yet subscribed to my second channel, Podcast Now Plus, the link for that's in the description below. Would mean a lot to me if you guys subscribed there as well, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. More Mafia videos every little while. I'll keep my eye on the news. If there's anything I see, I'll definitely keep you guys updated, and we will go from there, okay? Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.